And this video is about Nazca. Please look up my book on Amazon.com. So our journey begins at the Ica airport, which is 1 hour south of Paracas, Peru, and 3 hours north of Nazca, Peru. Flights are available not only at Nazca now, but also at Ica and the airport at Paracas. Here we are getting our instructions. Notice the plane is basically brand new. Thank God. And now it's time to get inside the airplane, strap ourselves in, and get ready for the journey from Ica through Palpa to Nazca. Last minute flight checks here by the captain and his co-pilot, and we're almost ready to go. And in fact, here we go. Notice the very desert nature of Ica. And here we are flying over some very productive agricultural land, amazingly, in this desert region. And here we are flying higher. You see the sand and you see the crops. And here is a view of the city of Ica, approximately 150,000 people. And before we know it, we're in extreme desert. I'm wearing my astronaut geoglyph t-shirt today, of course. And now we begin flying over the desert landscape of the Ica and Nazca area. But already, lines of some kind are showing up on the ground in the Palpa area, which is about 1 hour north drive of Nazca. In fact, Palpa has more than 1,000 geoglyphs, whereas Nazca only has about 30. So this line system is much more extensive than you may have previously thought. And here we have some of the so-called runways showing up, these trapezoidal shapes. There are many of them in the area. And here again, more trapezoidal shapes and thick lines. And again, more of the so-called runways. And more. And even more of these so-called runways. The Palpa area is incredibly complex. You notice the mountainous features here? This area actually is where the little astronaut is, as you can see. And, if you didn't know, the Nazca area has quite a bit of agriculture. Now here we're going over some very complex lines, going off in different directions, even overlapping one another. And there, on the right-hand side, top right, you would have seen what is called the condor. And as we go, you see again the complexity of this system. More of the trapezoidal shapes. There's the parrot in the top right. And the parrot again. And again, a huge runway. There's the tree of life in the top, now center right. And you can see now the complexity of the landscape of Nazca. as we see more of these so-called runway trapezoids. We're actually now back in Palpa, heading back to Ica, and this is where most of the so-called runways exist, as you can see on the right side. Now we're moving back into the agriculture. You see more of the Palpa runways on the right side. And now we're moving out of the geoglyph system and back towards the agriculture of Ica. And from agriculture back into desert and mountains. So you may have to watch this video more than once in order to see all of the detail, especially in the area of Palpa. Because there are so many small geoglyphs and lines, it's very difficult to focus the camera on all of them. And it's extremely difficult to film and photograph when you're flying in the small plane because of all of the movement and the reflection of light on the glass of the window. Here we're moving back towards Ica, and you see the very complex agriculture. These are grapes being grown. And Ica is one of the most productive areas of agriculture in Peru, which is amazing considering the area only gets half an inch of rain. The secret to the area is the fact that all of the water is running underground in streams which are tapped into. Now, once again, the city of Ica, 150,000 to maybe 200,000 people live here. It's one of the richest areas of Peru because of the agriculture. And finally, we're descending back down to the little Ica airport. Slowing down and getting ready to get out. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I will make several more videos about the Nazca and Palpa line and geoglyph systems. The planes are heavily regulated by the government, so they are very safe, and most are a few years old at the most. So once again, greetings from Ica, Peru.